Cules, hold on tight, because what we're about to tell you today is an absolute bombshell that has shaken the foundations of Camp Nou and set all of Barcelona buzzing. What Deco has accomplished this time isn't just a simple recruitment, not one of those operations you see coming since the pre-season. No, my friends, this is the kind of move that makes you jump off your couch, spill your coffee, and yell at your neighbor that Barça is back. Right now, at this very moment, the city is buzzing, social media is on fire, and the bars in the Gothic Quarter are filled with Cules debating whether this move is a stroke of genius or sheer madness. So, what exactly happened? Who is this mysterious player who has landed at Football Club Barcelona like a meteorite? Hold on tight, because this is going to be a long, intense ride, with that touch of Cule humor we love so much, because here, we don't just inform, we also have a bit of fun at our own expense. The morning starts quietly in the county city. The sun is shining, tourists are queuing at the Sagrada Familia, and in the Barça offices, Deco, our sporting director, with his air of a Portuguese magician who always seems to be plotting something, is about to drop the summer's bombshell. No one saw it coming. Not even the nosiest journalists, not the Twitter insiders who swear they have sources in the club's cafeteria, not even that guy at the bar who always claims to know what's going on in the boardroom. Nothing. Zero clues. But suddenly, BAM. The official statement from Football Club Barcelona appears on social media. Football Club Barcelona has reached an agreement for the incorporation of... And there, Cules, the world stops, because the name that follows isn't one of those we've been speculating about for months. It's not Haaland, it's not Mbappe, it's not even that defensive midfielder everyone was clamoring for to plug the gaps. It's someone that absolutely no one had on their radar. Let's be clear, Barça isn't in its best economic situation, we all know that. The board spends its time doing financial acrobatics, selling levers, asking favors from Laporta's cousin who has a cousin in a bank. And yet, Deco has managed the impossible. He has brought in a player who not only fits like a glove into Hansi Flick's scheme, but is already making supporters dream of magical nights at Camp Nou. Who is it? Well, I'm not going to reveal everything at once. This isn't a Netflix series. We'll take it step by step, as if we were in one of those tiki-taka actions that made us vibrate in the days of Xavi and Iniesta. The scene in the club's offices is worthy of a spy movie. Imagine Deco, in his impeccable suit, sitting in a room overlooking the stadium, looking at his phone as if waiting for the message that will change history. Across from him, a few agents with poker faces, a lawyer who keeps checking papers, and Joan Laporta coming in and out of the room with that, "Don't worry, we've got everything under control," smile. But no, they didn't have it under control, no one did, because the player in question, this crack who has sparked madness, is a name that wasn't on any list, not the recruiters, not the analysts, not even that brother-in-law's who always claims he said it first. And here's the first juicy detail. The recruitment isn't a striker. No, Cules, it's not that forward everyone was waiting for to finish off Lamine Yamal's crosses. It's a midfielder, but not just any midfielder, not one of those guys who just run and tackle. We're talking about a player who combines the elegance of a ballet dancer with the bite of a lion, a guy who can break lines with a pass that has the vision of an eagle and, watch out, isn't afraid to drop back and defend when things get tough. Does that ring a bell? Yes, it's like we've crossed Busquets with a touch of South American magic that makes every touch a spectacle. Now, before continuing, let me pause for those who are already getting excited. If you're already wide-eyed imagining this crack in Blaugrana, don't miss what's coming next, because this is just the beginning. Subscribe to the Cules channel, because what's coming is even stronger, and you won't want to miss it for anything in the world. Let's get back to our story. The fans are in shock. On social media, memes are popping up everywhere. There's one going around showing Deco as Gandalf saying, "You shall not pass, unless you're this recruitment." Another shows Laporta dancing the samba. Because yes, the new player has Latin roots that have set everyone's imagination on fire. But beyond the jokes, there's a serious debate. Is this the move Barça needed? Because let's be honest, the team has had a turbulent summer, with injuries, departures of players who didn't fit, and the pressure of competing with a Real Madrid that seems like a steamroller. Barça needed something big, and Deco, with his characteristic calm, has made a bold move. Let's talk about the player. Let's call him, for now, the mysterious one. Not that he doesn't have a name, but revealing it right away would be like spoiling the end of a Nolan movie 5 minutes in. This 24-year-old guy comes from a league that isn't in the top 5, but which has been a goldmine for world football in recent years. Not Brazil, not Argentina, further south. We're talking about a South American league that has produced gems like Neymar or Ronaldinho in their time. And no, he's not Brazilian, even though he has that samba touch in his feet. He's Argentine, but not one of those who arrive with the new Messi label. This one is different. He's a guy who grew up in the shadows, far from the spotlight, but who, in his team, was the engine, the brain, the soul. A silent leader who doesn't need to shout to make everyone follow him. The story of his arrival at Barça is almost as epic as a Champions League final. It turns out Deco had been following him for months. 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 While we were debating whether GAVI should play further forward or if Lewandowski still had fuel in the tank, Deco was in his office watching videos of this kid like a teenager addicted to YouTube. And it wasn't just him. Hansi Flick, who isn't exactly the type to get easily excited, watched a couple of matches and said, "This is our man." And when Flick says something like that with his German general face that seems ready to invade the opponent's midfield, you know it's serious. Sources close to La Liga have confirmed that Real Madrid has pressured Spanish football authorities to investigate every financial move made by Barça. They have questioned the agreement with Nike, demanded details about the sale of assets, and even insinuated that the registration of players like Dani Olmo could be irregular. Their argument: it is impossible for a club with debt like Barca's to have recovered so quickly. But listen well, Cules, it is not impossible. It's simply Laporta doing what Laporta does best. While they search for excuses, we present facts. Every contract, every operation, every euro is documented and approved by the competent authorities. The agreement wasn't easy. The original club didn't want to let him go. He was their jewel, their captain, their everything. But Barça, with that mix of charm and pressure that only Laporta knows how to wield, managed to close the deal. The price? Well, here's another surprise. It wasn't crazy. We're not talking about the 100 million euros demanded for any 18-year-old prospect these days. This was a strategic recruitment, the kind that makes you think Deco has a master's in economics as well as football. Let's just say Barça paid a fair price, with some variables depending on whether the guy becomes the next Xavi or just remains a very good player. And let's be honest, with Deco's eye, the first option seems more likely. Now imagine the scene at Camp Nou. It's presentation day. The stadium is packed because, even though the recruitment was unexpected, the Cule fans are always ready for a party. The stands are singing, flags are waving, and suddenly, he appears. The mysterious one, with that Blaugrana jersey weighing like no other. The guy walks with impressive calm. He's not one of those who strut, but he's not one of those who hide either. He looks at the crowd, raises his hand, and makes a gesture that has already gone viral, a wink at the camera as if to say, "Don't worry, it's going to be fun." And there, Cules, the stadium explodes, because that wink isn't just a gesture, it's a promise. But not everything is rosy. On social media, while some celebrate, others doubt. "Who is this guy?" asks a Twitter user who clearly hasn't done their homework. "Why didn't we sign a striker?" complains another. And then there are those who, with that typical humor, joke that Deco found the player in a FIFA 25 match and decided to sign him. But beyond the jokes, there's a consensus. This recruitment is a risk, but a calculated one. Because if there's one thing Deco has proven, it's that he doesn't make moves without a safety net. It's not a whim, it's a bet on the future. Let's talk about what this guy brings to the team. First, his versatility. He can play as a number 6, number 8, or even number 10 if Flick wants to experiment with something new. He has a long pass that seems like a laser, ball control that makes it seem like the ball is glued to his foot, and an ability to read the game that reminds us of Iniesta's best moments. But it's not just about technique. This guy has character. In his league, he was the one who carried the team on his shoulders when things got tough. And at Barça, where the pressure is like the air we breathe, that's pure gold. The question now is how he fits into Flick's scheme, because Hansi, with his "we're going to press until the opponent begs for mercy" mentality, needs players who not only have quality but run as if their lives depend on it. And that's where the mysterious one shines. In training, he's already been seen winning back balls like a pit bull, but with the elegance of a feline. His teammates are impressed. PEDRI, who isn't easily amazed, has already said in private that this guy is insane. And when PEDRI says that, you know it's serious. But it's not just about tactics and statistics. There's something about this recruitment that goes beyond the pitch. It's the excitement. Because let's be honest, Kules, we've been through tough times, painful defeats, seasons without titles, and that feeling that Real Madrid was watching us in the rearview mirror while accelerating. But this move by Deco has reignited the spark. In the bars, in the penis, in WhatsApp discussions, people are talking about him, about how he could be the start of something big, about how, maybe, this year Barça could reclaim its throne. And here's another moment for those hooked on this story. If you feel that cool emotion that can't be explained but is lived, subscribe to the channel, because what you'll see in the coming days will be even more epic. Now, let's set aside the romanticism for a moment and talk numbers, because even though football is a passion, it's also a business. The recruitment, according to sources close to the club, was concluded for around 35 million euros, with variables that could push the sum up to 50 million euros if the player reaches certain goals. Expensive? Cheap? It depends on how you look at it. In a market where a decent full-back costs 60 million euros, it seems like a bargain. But the real value isn't in the price, it's in what this guy can bring. If he becomes the midfield leader Barça needs, those 35 million euro will seem like peanuts. The press, of course, is buzzing. Headlines range from Deco surprises with a recruitment from another world to the new brain of Barça in Catalonia. Local newspapers are already comparing him to club legends, though they maintain that typical caution used to avoid jinxing anything. In Argentina, his home country, the excitement is even greater. Local media have already dubbed him Riquelme's heir, even though he said, with his characteristic humility, that he doesn't want comparisons. "I just want to play and help the team," he dropped, and with that, he's already won over half the fans. But not everything is rosy. There are challenges. The first is adaptation. Moving from a South American league to European football isn't a walk in the park. The speed, intensity, and media pressure, everything is different. And Camp Nou, with all its love, can also be a ruthless place if things don't go well. But there's something about this guy that inspires confidence. Maybe it's his gaze, that mix of serenity and ambition. Maybe it's that Deco and Flick have bet so heavily on him that it's hard not to believe. The second challenge is internal competition, because Barca's midfield is no walk in the park. GAVI with his endless energy, PEDRI with his magic, De Jong when he's in form, and now this new crack. Flick will have to work miracles to integrate everyone. But if there's someone who can do it, it's him. The German has already proven he can manage dressing rooms full of talent, and this recruitment is further proof that he trusts his project. So, Kules, here we are, immersed in this madness that keeps growing. Every day brings a new story, a new detail, a new reason to believe that this recruitment could be the start of something big. Camp Nou awaits us. The ball is about to roll, and the mysterious one is ready to write his name in Blaugrana history. Because at Barça, dreams aren't waited for, they're chased. If you're living this cool madness and don't want to miss a single detail of what's coming next, subscribe to the channel, because this story is unique, and what's coming will be even bigger. Stay with us, because Barça is writing a new chapter, and you won't want to stay outside.